let's move on, Erin, to one of your favorite topics, obviously, which is the RH bill. And now the Senate has its own version. They passed their own version, and it's going to be debated in plenary.
Why are you saying it's my favorite topic?
Well, come on. It's one of your staunchest issues.
I'm not a sponsor.
I know, but you love to defend it. But Erin, just tell us how different is for example, this consolidated Senate version, which Senator Pia Cayetano is pushing, as opposed to the versions in the House.
Pardon, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, from your knowledge, Erin, how different are the versions, the RH bill versions, in the Senate being promoted by Senator Pia Cayetano from the versions you see in the House?
Well, I don't know if one would be if they included in the committee report the amendments that Senator Ping wanted to include with regard to the two-child policy. I'll be honest, I haven't seen the Senate version yet, no? So it's hard for me to comment. I'm sure it might be a bit different from the version of the House. So it remains to be seen, no? Whether they're two completely different versions or almost the same.
But can you confirm, for example, I know it's a little noisy in the background, Erin, but is it safe to say that the versions in the House, for example, Erin, still include abortifacients?
Well, again, it's going to go through their own process of interpellation and debate. It will go through their own process of even amendments. I don't know if there's if the anti-RH people in the Senate are pushing for the same amendments in the House. No? That remains to be seen, because maybe some people who are anti-RH may agree to certain things but may not agree to others, which in the House may also be different. So it would be good to wait until the debates in both chambers are over. But I'm sure, David, that the versions that would come out in the Senate and in the House would be a bit different from each other, and it would need a bicameral conference committee to resolve this issue. Now, of course, in the end, if the versions are different and the House panel might decide that to adopt the version of the Senate, because it's acceptable, that may be a track that may be followed. Remember, this was what happened with two bills that were passed on just before we adjourned. This is the Lifeline bill.
Right.
The House adopted the Senate version to avoid the BICAM,
right.
And the House also adopted the version of the Senate with regard to the suspension of the armed elections.
Right. Okay, but in this matter, there is a counter bill in the Senate called the Protection of the Unborn Child. Is this something that for people like you, for example, who are supporting the RH bill in the House, would seriously consider?
Well, I don't know if that's just I'm not familiar whether the bill of Senator Enrile and Senator Soto was consolidated with the bill of Senator Pia Cayetano. I think it's a separate bill altogether.
Right.
So it was not consolidated. Now, I'm sure when the period of interpellation and debate starts in the Senate, they would try to insert certain definitions or which maybe that bill on the unborn child had, in order to be incorporated later on in the debates in the Senate. So there are ways in doing. I don't know whether to say dilute the bill by introducing amendments on the floor. But of course, that will have to be voted upon by the members of the Senate, and of course, majority wins whatever decision may come out there.
Of course, but is this something that you might seriously consider? For example, the gist of that unborn child bill is that it prohibits the use of abortifacients, abortive acts, and practices that induce abortion. Is that something you would support?
Well, if it's proven that certain bills are really abortifacient, and it's identified, and we have enough material to study, then the amendment may be considered. We can, I'm sure those, but that's what the process we're going through in the House right now. As a matter of fact, both Congresswoman Erin and Congressman Nograles stood up, took the floor, and were explaining the different bills that were supposedly discussed, in the bill. So what are abortifacents, what are not, what are still needed, because some pills are needed according to doctors. Of course, I'm not a female, I wouldn't know, that are used to help regulate menstruation,
right,
and others. So these are being discussed right now in the plenary, and again, it will boil down to the understanding of the members of the House who are listening to the debate, which particular pills or whether they're injectables or how they take it are considered abortifacents, and those that are not.
All right. Well, I guess, Erin, the battle will resume in July, I would imagine.
Oh yes. There was a skirmish yesterday, and it was an interesting skirmish because Congressman Crisologo stepped in, and it angered maybe Congressman Cagas, and Cagas saying, let's vote.
Right.
and the session had to be suspended because the speaker wants still further debate, and maybe during the second regular session, sometime September, October, it would be right for voting on the floor.
Well, never a dull moment for you, apparently, Erin, in the House. That's always a good thing. Keeps you nice and alert. Thank you very much, Erin. That was House Deputy Speaker Erin Tañada. So much more to be discussed and debated on when it comes to the RH bill. Contentious as always.